Have you ever wondered how big companies make those huge million-dollar decisions? Or even how your favorite local coffee shop figures out its prices? You might think it's some kind of complicated financial magic, but today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the secret math behind all those smart business calls. And trust me, it's way simpler than you think. Okay, so let's jump right in with a little puzzle. Picture your go-to coffee shop. You know a latte there costs 200 rupees. Now imagine a huge tour group walks in. They want to buy 100 lattes right now, but they'll only pay 50 rupees for each one. Now your first reaction is probably, no way, right? I mean, why on earth would you sell something at such a massive loss? Well, stick around because the answer is probably not what you're expecting. You see, to solve this little riddle, we have to start thinking about cost in a totally new way. The real secret here is that in business, there isn't just one type of cost. Nope, there are two. And understanding that difference, well, that changes absolutely everything.
So let's lay down the foundation for pretty much every smart business decision out there, the two types of cost.
Think of it like this. All your costs go into one of two buckets. In the first bucket, you have your fixed costs. These are the bills that show up like clockwork every single month, no matter what. Your rent, your staff's salaries, your insurance. It doesn't matter if you sell one coffee or 1,000 coffees, these bills stay the same. Now, in the other bucket, you have your variable costs. These are the costs tied directly to making one single latte. The coffee beans, the milk, the paper cup. If you don't sell a latte, you don't have these costs. It's as simple as that. Yeah, so just to really let that sink in, fixed costs don't care if you have a great month or a terrible one. They are this constant financial mountain that you have to climb every single month just to keep your doors open. So if fixed costs are the big challenge, what's the solution? How do we tackle that mountain? Well, that brings us to the hero of our story, the decision maker's secret weapon, a powerful little concept called contribution.
Okay, now this is super important. Contribution is not profit. Profit is what's left over after all your costs, fixed and variable, are paid. Contribution is different. It's the little bit of cash from a single sale that's left over after you've paid for the variable costs. You know, the milk, the beans, the cup. It's the money that helps you start chipping away at that giant mountain of fixed costs.
And the math for it is just so beautifully simple. It's your sales price minus your variable costs. That number you're left with, that's your contribution. This simple formula right here drives thousands and thousands of business decisions every single day. And here is the real game changer. While making a profit is the ultimate long-term goal, for your day-to-day decisions, contribution is your guide. Why? Well, think about it. Your fixed costs are already locked in. You have to pay that rent no matter what. So for a specific one-time decision, any sale that brings in even a single rupee of contribution is a small win. It's one more rupee helping you pay those bills you can't avoid. All right, enough with the theory. Let's put this powerful tool to work and actually solve some of those real business puzzles. Remember our 50 rupee latte puzzle? Let's break it down using our new tool. The variable cost, the actual stuff that goes into one cup, is only 35 rupees. So if we sell it for 50, our contribution is 50 minus 35, which is 15 rupees. Hey, that's 15 rupees we didn't have a minute ago, and that 15 rupees can go directly towards paying the rent. So for a one-off special order like this, as long as the price is even a little bit higher than the variable cost, the answer is a big yes. Okay, on to the next classic business headache, the make versus buy decision. Should our coffee shop go through all the trouble of baking its own amazing croissants, or would it be smarter to just buy them ready-made from a great local bakery? And this is where that kind of thinking really shines. Let's look at the numbers. To make a croissant yourself, the variable cost for the flour and butter is about 40 rupees. To buy it from a supplier, they'll charge you 50. Now, notice what's missing from this chart. The rent for the kitchen, the salary for the baker, those are fixed costs. You're paying them anyway, whether you bake croissants or not. So for this specific decision, they're totally irrelevant. So the rule here is incredibly simple. Just ignore all the noise from the fixed costs and choose the option with the lower relevant cost. In this case, it is clearly 10 rupees cheaper to just make the croissants in-house. And boom, decision made. Okay, so contribution is amazing for making decisions about individual sales. But what about the bigger picture? How do you know if your entire business is on track to just survive? For that, we need to find our financial safety net. We need to find the break-even point.
This is probably the most gut-wrenching, fundamental question any business owner has to ask. It's not about getting rich, not yet. It's about survival. What is the absolute minimum number of coffees we have to sell every month just to keep the lights on and pay all of our bills?
That survival number, that's your break-even point. It's that perfect moment of balance where you're not making any profit, but you're not losing any money either. Now, the real magic happens after you hit this point, because every single sale you make beyond your break-even number is pure, beautiful profit.
And look at how elegantly this all ties together. To find your break-even point, you just take your total mountain of fixed costs for the month, and you divide it by the contribution you make from each individual sale. This tells you exactly how many sales you need to make just to cover your base. So let's run the numbers for our coffee shop. Let's say their total fixed costs are 247,500 rupees a month, and we know the contribution from each coffee is 165 rupees. You do the math, and the survival number is 1,500 coffees. That's it. That's their target. That's the number they have to hit every single month just to stay in the game.
And just like that, in only a few minutes, you've learned the fundamental way of thinking that chief financial officers use every single day. Seriously, this isn't just boring accounting. This is a financial superpower. It really all boils down to this simple three-step CFO mindset. First, you learn to see the business world in two buckets: fixed costs and variable costs. Second, for any specific decision, you ignore the noise and you focus only on the contribution. And third, you always know your break-even point, so you understand the risk you're taking. And the most powerful thing about all this is how it scales. This is the exact same logic that giant global corporations use when they're deciding whether to build a new factory. It's what your local coffee shop uses to price its menu. And yeah, it's something you can use for your own side hustle or freelance business.
So the next time you see a massive sale, or some kind of special one-time offer, or a business move that just seems weird, you won't just see the price tag anymore. You'll see the secret math happening behind the scenes. You've officially unlocked the CFO mindset. So I guess my last question for you is this. Now that you know the secret, what business decision are you going to look at completely differently?